Morning guys, Moorhuhn here. Today I want to take a look at my league starter of cycle 1.1, the Harbinger update of last Epoch. And yeah, let's quickly just clear a map, let's take a look at the build, and I will explain like what I have been doing, what I'm up to, what the general idea here is. So I've started with the idea of going cold-based Locust build with the new Locust Spear. However, after testing, after finding it and then testing it, it was pretty much as shit as I was expecting. And so I, well, reworked the build a bit. And now I am full on resummon a whole lot of stuff that triggers Frostbite. They're running with Locusts, but we do not use the Locust Spear because it's just very, very bad. And yeah, well, this character is a very, very healthy char in my opinion. It can take quite some hits, deals decent damage, even though it is not very well geared yet. And yeah, overall it feels very smooth. They're for sure faster builds, but I have had like a pretty good experience with it so far. Pushed up to 170 corruption, I do believe. This is a new timeline where I'm pushing, so we are just 100 corruption here. Nothing too fancy. So this is pretty much the baseline where we are running right now. However, this makes it a little bit more chill to check for stuff we might want to take a look at. Just quickly take on the last Jerry's Spire, and then I will explain how the build works at the current moment. Right now we are still running a spear, but we are changing that soon when I have proper Apogees of Frozen Light, because if, like, when in doubt, play Apogee of Frozen Light. That would rhyme, it was better, but it doesn't. Still good. Doesn't matter. Whatever. It's a good weapon, it's a good sword. We just try to get like a second one. Haven't found second one yet, and I want decent legendary potential in it as well, because our current spear just gives very, very good stats with mana rack, parry, reduced damage taken from crits, set damage over time. So this is just very good. The upgrade will be the Apogee when we have 2, and when we have legendary potential on there with something useful. Doesn't really matter too much. It gives 3 levels for the Spriggan, which is okayish, 3 levels for this Totem, which is very good. But let's take a look at how the character plays. So we start out in the human form, where we have a bunch of skills, which mostly we use Thorn Totem and then Entangling Roots. We spawn a bunch of totems, buff those up, jump into the Stormblade form, spawn a bunch of hives, change form to our protection to Spriggan form, which transforms our hives into healing totems and spawns locusts. Then we just spawn vines. Right now I'm using small vines. However, I played a lot with big vines, and both are viable. Big vines have more single target damage, small vines have more clear, but the big vines are a lot more healthy, and on high corruption you might just have to use the big vines because the small ones might die too quickly. Then when you have those up, you press the totem again and swap back to human form. One more totems. Send the Entangling Roots through everything to buff everything and go back into the Stormblade form. You pretty much are changing form whenever it is ready. You want to swap all the time, spawn more stuff, swap again, spawn more stuff, and swap again. You want to do this all the time to keep the Shapeshifter buff up and to just keep all your minions up, because they don't have infinite duration. But they, if you just keep this rhythm of changing every 4 to 5 seconds, you should have most of the minions up most of the time, especially in boss fights, which at my current state gives me up to 750 Frostbite stacks, and the realistic conditions more like 500 on bosses. And with better gear, maybe up to 1.4, 1.5k, something in that direction might be possible. Can't tell exactly yet. But let's take a quick look at the skill tree. We are just running health and attunement and healing effectiveness, which doesn't become here. But yeah, let's just whatever. Pretty much just health. We will take Harmony of Blades when we have the second Epoch. Here we just take endurance, health, healing effectiveness, or increase healing. Minion cold damage, minion cold penetration, frostbite chance. We want minion damage, minion poison chance because it translates to frostbite chance. And we want the shapeshifter buff, and we want hide skin. Next points would go into Harmonious Wisdom, so we get crit avoidance when we take out the fear. That's pretty much all we need to know about the Druid skill tree. Then we have the skills, we have Entangling Roots. I'm playing around with it a lot, so all of these points are not set in stone. Currently we are using the seeds to heal ourselves and to spawn vines. We use the Frenzying Thorns to buff. I'd love to have more skill points for more in Venom Sting and more in Renewing Pollen, because these just heal for like 800 to 900 per pollen you click whenever you go through them. When this is at 4 points, which is just crazy. You pretty much get full health whenever you do anything. The Summon Spriggan is just very utility heavy bot. This will be maxed out with the Epoch. We might put points here, might put points here with the Epoch to get more crit avoidance. And it spawns some vines which are pretty much irrelevant because they are not affected by the vine tree. Then here we are buffing vines, and we are getting healing totems, which are affected by the thorn totem skill tree. Also we are code converting. Then we have the thorn totems, which are buffing our healing totems. And we have the Stormblade form, which buffs our locusts and gives the right conversions when we swap form. This pretty much is most of the stuff you need to know. Then, which I didn't say, reincarnation is extremely broken because I currently am at about 300% healing effectiveness. I was at 400. You can get up to 500, but I think like 400 should be the sweet spot, where you gain like about 2000 health whenever you switch form. So you just have healing totems out, you gain health through the primal shifter, you just are full health at pretty much all time. It's just very, very enduring. Through some of the Nemesis fights, Harbinger fights I had, like maybe I lost like 80, 90,000, like maybe 100,000 health in that fights. That just got healed up. It just doesn't matter. As long as you're healthy enough, and defense is one very big part of it. You want to get like 4k, 5k, 6k armor later on, maybe 4k health. You should be able to tank most stuff in like corruption up to 3, 4, 500. On the gear, you just want defensive stats, resistances, and then just some minion stuff like minion cold damage, minion damage over time. Attack and cast speed for vines is okay-ish, but not great because you're only buffing one type of your minions. The Serpent's Milk is mandatory. It is best in slot by a huge margin due to the 200% chance of poison, which are translated to frostbite chance, and we ignore the less poison damage mod on it. So yeah, this one is extremely strong and you should definitely use it. It pretty much doubles or triples your damage. Then you want Dedication of an Race Primalist with decent stats. You'd really love to have Spriggan form tier 7 on it, but it's very difficult to get. But you could get Pierce from it, or maybe even this, but this is a little bit sketchy and would need to remove other points. You could also just go for more poison chance. There's a lot of options here, and you can put pretty much infinite points into Spriggan form. Could theoretically have like 35 levels in it and still have points left you want to spec. So very, very good to have more levels in here. Aside from that, you just want health and the experimental boot mod, which teleports minions around when you just use a move skill, which also is the dive. So you teleport your dives and stuff around when you dive. So you want that mod later on tier 7 to teleport like 12 minions, I believe, so you can have a more smooth clear. Aside from that, well, healing effectiveness, health, damage, nothing special to see here. Idols, just health and poison chance. Minion attack speed is okayish, but you have a lot of range minions and casts, so not all that great. However, haste for summon totem is okayish. Yeah, then you can also have healing effectiveness on the idols. There's just a lot of options here. Overall, I just want to have a lot of chance of poison in like the end setup, maybe 4 chance of poison, which would translate to about 100% chance to poison. Yeah, this is pretty much everything I want to talk about. I do think blessings are resistances, armor, experience, and mana, I do believe. Something like that are the main things. Here I actually don't know. We can quickly check my... What do I have here? Health. So yeah, health here. And that's pretty much everything you need to know. So if you have any questions, still feel free to ask. There will be a much more detailed guide coming when the character is more fleshed out. But this was just the first look. So if you want to test it, try it. It's a fun build. Might push a few hundred corruptions with it. So yeah, if you are interested in a more detailed version, just stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button, you know. And then yeah, see you next time. Out. Thanks for watching.